Hi, welcome to our coffee talk. Cheryl, have you heard of the recent updated MOH screen time guideline?
I think I read about it, but the details I might not remember it exactly. But I think the one that really caught my attention was that children under ages of 18 months, they are not supposed to have any screen time except for like video chatting. Then they are allowed to take a look at the phones. Yeah, other than that, they cannot have any screen time at all.
Similarly, I'm not very familiar with the details, but I can remember that it is quite strict. Even for children in schools, the guideline is something like an hour other than schoolwork or something like that. So it's quite little in a sense. Yeah. What do you think of it?
Actually, I think it's good because in a way, parents also, I think there are parents who chat about I think they have concerns regarding screen time, but yet at the same time, a lot of them feel very helpless also, like how to occupy the kids, especially during weekends, when they're at home most of the time. And parents are definitely busy also. If it's on a weekdays, if the kids are sick as well, they still have to be doing their work also. So probably using screens or like showing them shows on television, then that's an alternative to keep them occupied when they are working. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of parents, usually they will take out the iPad or phone, especially during meal time, so that they can get the children to sit still so that they can feed them properly. So that's quite common, I guess.
Correct. I think it's a major concern also because parents are so concerned if their kids don't really eat as well, because they're also worried about whether they get enough nutrition also. So I think in a way it kind of helped the parents to alleviate the pain, of them not eating.
Definitely. I mean, it is helpful to a certain extent, right? It forms like a distraction, it forms a way to get their attention.
Yes.
But of course, it comes with some negative implication.
True.
In your work of SLT, is there any impact on their speech, their learning, when it comes to screen time in your experience?
Definitely, because I think in a way, screens, right, the movements and everything are very fast. So in a way, for kids, when they watch the screens for too long, they will have an impression that people are supposed to be moving at such a fast rate, or words are supposed to be appearing at such a fast rate. Whereas human to human interaction in real life, it is not that fast, because we need to think at times also. We need to be observing what the other person is doing. We have to be listening and waiting also before we respond. So in a way, the pace whereby the interaction is very different in real life. And also the kids, when they are so exposed to that very fast pace, right, they expect things to be given to them at a very fast rate as well. So they'll be like, oh, why is it that mommy and daddy is not responding to me at such a quick rate? Then they might lose interest in terms of interacting, communicating with others. So in a way, the brain is also being affected as well. So that's when, and also for screen time, usually they will be the one watching. And there's no bi-directional interaction in a way. So as much as, yes, the screens actually expose them to quite a lot of content, but they might not be picking it up also, because it's not repeated exposure of a certain concept or certain words in their environment also.
So what's the specific impairment that is caused by screen time for children in the area of speech and language development?
I think I wouldn't say impairment for now, because they are still quite young. So maybe like a delay, a language delay. We will say maybe they are not picking up words as quickly as they should be.
Even though they are exposed to like YouTube videos that have all those educational content, but it means that they may not be picking up.
Yes, because it's not really using it in real life. Like they might the video might mention, they might sing songs, might talk about certain things, like maybe say the word up, but they don't see anything moving up, or they don't see it happening in real life, as because kids, they might not be able to map whatever they see in the show versus what is happening in real life.
So they might just repeat for the sake of repeating, but they don't really get the concept of it.
Yes, there's no linkages in a way. They might not know that, so the bubbles are moving up, so that is the action of up, or somebody can be climbing up the stairs. So that can be another way where the word up is being used. So the contextual knowledge might not be sufficient in a way. So they might hear the word, but they might not know what does it really mean in real life. So then that will affect their speech and language development also.
Because I know a lot of parents, they will just play the video at the background, so the kids will sing along, or the song will just keep on repeating and repeating.
That's right.
So it may not be helpful actually.
I wouldn't say entirely not helpful. They might be able to sing the songs, but whether they totally understand what does that means, because language is quite abstract also. Yeah, so they have to be used in context as well. They have repeated exposure in order for the child to actually learn the true meaning of the word also. Yeah, so that's why we actually do say that it's okay. I mean, for certain amount of time, right? Like the screen time is allowed for like maybe an hour for older kids. But we also say that it's better if parents can be there with them, talking through the content, what they are watching also, in order to actually give them some contextual cues, like when do you actually talk about certain things, or when do you hear this thing.
Okay. So to make it a better experience for the children is for the parents to be around, to explain, to talk to them, to share with them what's going on, and how to use the words and things like that.
In a way, it also helps to like build connection, also build communication as well. And the kids can also on the spot also ask their parents like, oh, mommy, what is this word? What are they talking about? Like, I don't know what they're talking about. Then parents can actually share like, their point of view also, like also maybe simplify the meaning of the words as well. So how about counselling side of things in terms of the screen time?
I mean, I do like it that they come up with a guideline. Although I'm just wondering how do they enforce it. I mean that's not really our scope today, right? But in terms of counselling, one of the things that I always recommend to parents is that when you spend quality time with kids, it is not watching TV together.
Okay.
Similar to what you say, right? Similar to what you say, watching TV is very passive. So both of you are sitting there together. There's no interaction. There's nothing's going on. The end of the show, okay, that's it. Unless you watch the show together or you watch a movie together, then you talk about it after that. Then at least there's some interaction. So, hey, do you like the movie? What do you like about it? Which character impresses you? So at least there's some conversations going on.
That's right.
That's better rather than just passively sitting there and just talking together.
That's true.
So that's one thing that I would usually recommend to parents. If you want to build connection, watching TV is really not spending time together. Because a lot of times when I tell parents, you need to spend time with kids, right? They think that I'm doing it. I'm watching TV with them every day. But that's not spending them together. They're just sitting there together watching TV.
Yes, right? That's true. Unless like what I mentioned earlier, you really have a lot of interactions going on. Actually, it reminds me of my interaction with my father. So my father loves to talk, which is actually good for me because whenever we watch shows together, he will be talking me through the shows.
They give you a spoiler. All this will happen.
And also if he explains certain things, or he will ask me, hey, what do you think about this character? Then I can give my own personal views. He can give his personal views. I would see it as a form of connecting with him as well.
So that's what I'm talking about just now. So the interaction is what matters, not just spending time passively together.
Definitely.
And of course, if parents didn't control the children's screen time, eventually a lot of times it will become addictions, especially with the modern games that have been designed nowadays. It is really designed to attract the children's attention with the fast-pacedness, with the colorfulness, with the striking, quick pace, everything, the leveling up system and things like that. It is very addictive. So if the parents are not being mindful about what the children watches, what the children playing on their phone, on the computer, very easily become an addiction. I mean, although addiction have a lot of other criteria to it. I'm just going to use the word loosely here.
Okay.
Yeah, so it means that the children are distracted. They'll be thinking about the games all the time. Alright?
Okay.
And if you didn't manage the time since young and you want to control their usage when they are in P4, P5, P6, then there will be a big struggle. Right? Because they are not used to it, they will throw tantrum, they will be shouting unfair and all these things, right? Yeah. So if parents can control it since young, moderate that, following some of the guideline, I think that would be very, very helpful. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe similarly, like like 1 hour kind of screen time limit, right? Perhaps the gaming should be limited to less than an hour per day.
I suppose because the 1 hour I think is including computer time, TV time, phone time, and things like that. So, so actually 1 hour is very little.
There's a lot of devices that actually contribute to that 1 hour.
Correct.
Actually,
it's not 1 hour phone, 1 hour TV, 1 hour computer.
Oh no! Then I guess a lot of kids will start to feel quite bored also because they can't game anymore as and when they like, or like controlled timing less than an hour. So what are some other activities would you suggest to parents if they were to ask, like, oh, it's so hard because they really love to game, what am I supposed to do now? Yeah.
I think we can look at some outdoor activities, sports, some simple sports that the whole family can play together. I'm not talking about complicated football where you need 11 people. Things like badminton, you can just play leisurely with your family.
Or maybe pickleball.
Yes, pickleball is very popular now, right?
Yes.
Those who are a bit more challenging would be tennis, ping pong, because those are really specialized court equipment, right? But for pickleball, I think badminton is quite commonly available. Or even just a ball and throw and catch together. I think that's good enough, right? Especially for younger children. Right? Or,
the playground.
Yes, the playground. Going for nature walk. I think Singapore, although we don't have a lot of big forest reserve, but we do have a lot of parks around, right? A lot of nicely well done parks. I think going for walks, go for different parks, the same walk might be boring for the children, but if you go to different parks in Singapore, I think that's quite exciting also.
In fact, the one that I wouldn't say is recently open, but quite some time already, the Mandai Nature Reserve.
Yes.
That one is really nice.
Yeah, the Mandai Nature Reserve, the Bukit Timah Hill, the railway walk, a lot. Yeah.
How about the seaside also?
Yes. The beaches, right? We have quite a few. It's not like pristine, fine sand, but it's still good enough to enjoy the wind, to look at some of the ships, at the horizon.
So many container ships.
Container ships, right?
Yes.
Sunset, sunrise. I think these are all nice opportunities to have bonding, to have activities together.
Cycling also.
Cycling,
I remember you sharing with me about like the usage of like sand, playing with sand at the seaside also. So what kind of benefit does that bring?
I think for younger children, I think sand is very therapeutic. First of all, it's very sensory. It usually calms people down, alright? And people usually have very positive experience building sandcastles or just digging a hole in the sand, burying things, I would recommend the beach and the seaside for parents with young children because it helps them to develop their sensory. It helps them to develop their coping methods through sensory system, through calming themselves, through tactile, through muscular movement, motor movements. I think those are very beneficial.
That sounds very good. So it's like a great alternative compared to, I'm not against kinetic sand, but rather than staying indoors playing with that, you can possibly explore like going to the beach also, right?
And importantly, it's a problem-solving skill that they learn. Right? Imagine the kids wanted to build a castle, and it keep on crumbling. Then they are forced to use their creativity to, how do I hold up this place, doesn't let the sand fall down, or can I put a stick in to strengthen the structure or whatever. I think through all this play, children learn how to problem solve also, especially when they were left alone to solve it themselves. Of course, parents can help, but try not to solve everything for them. Let them struggle a little bit, let them try different methods of building the way that they want. I think it's a very good training ground for problem solving skills later on.
And it's also a very good place to actually practice like language as well. So parents can talk them through also the different steps. Like saying, oh no, what equipment should I be using to go and dig the hole, to get the sand, and how should I be placing, making up, stacking up the castles and sort of thing. Yeah, so it's good in terms of like communication, interaction as well.
Yep, it's a good what do you call it? Teachable moment. Right? On a lot of things, right? Or you can be prepared in advance to teach language, like you said. Step one, do this. Step two, do that.
Maybe a little bit more effort in there in terms of like planning wise, or I mean, of course, interaction we try to keep it as natural as possible lah. Even though yes, we can prepare like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. But at the end of the day, the play, the connection is the most important. Rather than being critical and like, oh, hey, you didn't do step 1 properly. Hey, do it again. Do again one more time. Yeah, that isn't the outcome that we want for kids also, right?
And I think it connects to what you mentioned earlier on, the connections to the real things that are happening in the world, right? So if you're exposed to all this outdoor, then you can use it to teach about up, down, left, right.
Yeah, we fall down, collapse, that sort of thing.
So you can use it to teach certain words, certain language, usage and things like that.
Then the kids will really see it happening in front of their own eyes, what's actually happening also. And also like what kind of language, what kind of words do they use that is appropriate to the situations as well.
Okay. I know you don't have children, but let's say if you have the children, how will you control their screen time? How will you enforce this 1 hour or less than 1 hour kind of a screen time?
Okay, I don't have a child, yes, but my sister does. So I have a nephew, and I think I have to say my sister and her husband are doing a great job managing my nephew's screen time. He's definitely he's below 18 months, so it's zero screen time. Wow, it's really really tough. But
even when feeding,
they are very insistent on not giving any screen time, which is great. I think they are great followers to the guidelines. So what I can share and what I see, which I think is really encouraging, we do have video call time because we don't stay together. So that's the only time when my nephew has access to screens. But it's also quite limited. We wouldn't have like extended long hours of calls as well, probably just 5 to 10 minutes per day. So from that way, he gets his interaction with us also, remembering like, oh, we are the family members as well. Then my sister will actually encourage him to verbalize or babble certain sounds or words that are related to how she would like him to call us. Like for my dad, he will call, gong 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 gong. Yeah, so it's a way of encouraging him to acknowledge us, to communicate with us also. So during times like meal times you mentioned, yes, it can get really, really tough because he doesn't like to sit in the chair all the time. So, but what I think my sis and her husband did really well was that they would stagger the meal times also. Like, okay, example, if for today, you know that, okay, he's hungry, he wants to have food, so we just set probably 15 to 20 minutes. So he has to be seated there to have his meals. But let's say if he really, really is upset that he's seated there and he cannot focus, then they will give him short breaks. They'll be like, okay, now we put the food aside, let's go for a walk, like a quick walk around the area or around the house area. Yeah, and then we'll come back and just continue eating. But if that 20 minutes time limit is up and he doesn't want any more food, it's fine. Or if he actually throws tantrum, you just have to endure a little bit, you know.
So you just try your best to fit in the 20 minutes. However much amount that he can eat, that's it, you know. You're not going to force him to eat more or eat less.
I think it's a very Asian mentality.
I'm
very sorry to say, but it's like, oh, no food wastage. You don't eat this. Like, I prepared this food, you better finish it up. I mean, yes, I do agree with that, but you know, kids being humans as well, they also have free will, so they also, maybe certain food they really don't like, and we cannot force them, we can only encourage.
And they're still young to tell you that I don't want to eat this.
Yeah, for those who are not speaking yet, it's really hard for them to like, oh no, I don't want this. Like even as adults, we have the right to tell others that, oh, I don't like to eat this. Like I don't like to eat bitter gourd. Why are you forcing me to eat? That sort of thing, right? So that is like a choice, and if possible, if it's tolerated, we will allow kids to actually play with the food. So in a way, like what you mentioned, like the sand, they get the sensory input, they know how to manipulate the food with their fingers. That helps with fine motor development also.
Interesting.
Yes.
And you know all these things because SLT also deal with swallowing and eating issues, right?
Big eaters as well. So that's how we actually help them to, because we don't want to create like aversion towards food. So we actually want to encourage to let kids know that meal times is a very fun time. Yeah, and they are given the choice to choose the type of food that they want. But of course, it's a hassle on the parents' part, having to prepare different kind of food and allowing them to play with it and not consuming it. But in a way, that's part of learning as well. Yeah, and it really helps with the oral motor development also. Yeah, so when they learn to not only take a certain texture or certain kind of food, that's really soft, that helps with the chewing process also, like the jaw muscles development also.
I know a lot of mommy like to puree their food and then feed it to the kids, right? So it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be doing that and just let them chew or...
Of course, my take for this is to strike a balance. I cannot say entirely don't eat pureed food, because I know oftentimes when kids are outside, it gets quite tough also, because the kid might not want to eat the food that adults are eating. Yeah, and then the parents will be giving them like pureed food, which is definitely slightly more convenient, and also to ensure that the kids eat. Yeah, but in the event if let's say, the child show interest in the food that adults are eating, like the child will be looking at, this is what you are eating, I also want to have a bite. I think that it's still possible to encourage them to share the food that adults are eating also. To let them try the different consistencies, the textures as well.
Yeah, I know this is out of the topic for today about screen time,
yes.
but I just want to ask one question about feeding and swallowing.
Okay,
sure. That's your expertise. So at what age should they start to eat solid food?
Okay, that's actually, I wouldn't claim to be the expert, but as long as they show signs, like what I mentioned, they show interest in adults' food, and if they can sit upright, and especially in a proper chair for feeding, we would say, like the high chair, if they can sit upright by themselves without like additional support from others, the child is considered ready to actually try adult food. Yeah, but of course we will modify it to a certain kind of shape that is suitable for the child's age as well. Yeah, it's not that like, if we are eating an avocado, then we'll just give the child the way that we are eating it. The child will not be able to consume because they don't have teeth yet, right? Yeah, so
you cut the noodle to smaller pieces. Do you do that?
It depends also, like it really depends on the age of the child. So to be more specific, of course we will encourage parents to have a read up about baby led weaning also. So the pureed form we will call it like the traditional led weaning as well. So I'm not a believer of either one of them, but I believe that parents do whatever works best for them.
Okay, let's keep this to
another episode
of our
COVID talk.
And let's come back to the screen time.
So any more strategies or tips for parents who might be having difficulties controlling their child's screen time?
Okay, I don't really work with very, very young children.
Yes.
But what I can advise for parents with, like, let's say, primary school kids, right? I would really advise them to have a device-free hour or day, like designate a couple of hours in the week that this is the hour that we will, no one is using device, nobody is using any computer, and everybody can be doing craft work together as a form of family bonding, or everybody could be spend that time to do their homework, alright, and then parents can role model by doing their own office work but not using devices, right? Or even just reading newspaper. The kids can be doing the homework, the parents can role model by reading newspaper, reading storybook, to show that you can spend time without on the device. Because a lot of times parents expect the children not to use any device,
Yeah.
but they themselves are playing with it. So it's like
Oh,
not so good role model, right?
Yes, in a way, yes. And I think kids also pick it up quite naturally.
Yes.
They will be like, "Oh, mommy, how come you can use the phone? I cannot
Yes,
use."
yeah. So ideally, I would say maybe set an hour a day. Maybe like a consistent every day, 8 to 9 p.m. is a no device time. You know, everyone just stop the devices, put it somewhere, lock it up. You know, everyone just spend time doing anything else but on the screen. You know, if possible every day lah. If not, then I think at least once or twice a week would be a good start.
That's a good idea.
The other alternative, the other things that I would suggest for parents would be not to put the computers in the bedroom. Make sure all the computers are outside, you know, in the study room, in the living room, even the devices to charge it outside rather than in the bedroom. So this is to discourage them from playing at night, you know. Some of them might sneak out, you know, and play if it's charged at home, charged in the bedroom, alright? They may wait until the parents go to sleep, then they secretly turn on the computer and play and stuff like that. So that's why I would really encourage to put all the laptops, computers outside. Even the charging of devices will all be left outside. If they need alarms, use a traditional alarm. You know, the one that you can dial and then you just press it up, right? So to avoid them having their phone devices in the bedroom, right?
Okay, I understand. Oh, that's really good. Tips also.
Yeah, and of course parents must role model it. So they also must charge their phone outside if possible, right? Yeah. What else do I suggest to parents? Yeah, I would say start with this, you know. Yeah, I think this is good enough starting point. And of course, start as young as possible. Because if they're 13, 14 and you want to enforce this, it might be a bit more difficult. Not saying that it cannot, but it's a bit more difficult.
It's gonna be tough.
Yes, so if you can start young, that would be great, right? Yeah. A lot of times the role modeling, I would say. Parents must role model that they themselves can also control their phone usage, their computer, their TV times, you know. If not, it's very hard for the child to follow.
True. I think from my side also similar, but in a way we will encourage parents to be playing more of like toys and also preferably non-battery operated toys.
Non-battery operated toys, okay.
Yes, because battery operated, you know, sometimes it will become like the child is interacting with the toy rather than the parents are the one making the sounds, the words in replacement. Yeah, so we encourage parents to be the one making sounds like it. Even effects like, ooh, wow, you know,
Okay, I remember some of the toys were like battery operated, that when you press something they got sound. Or even like fake piano. So those are not encouraged. So you rather.
I won't say it's an absolute no, because sometimes we also need some fun, right? A variety of toys, and parents get tired too. So if they can have a short break, so you know you can spend like what you mentioned, like maybe that 1 hour you put aside all the devices or whatever, not right? Then it's more intensive kind of interactions between the parent and the child, but then. You know, at times when parents need a short break or we've got toilet break, then the kids can be playing with the battery operated toys.
I do agree that it can be very tiring. I mean, I do have a nephew also, a niece, sorry, not nephew, a niece. So sometimes she will want to play with me. And sometimes it can be very tiring to continuously play with her. Like, I need a break also, you know, like can you play with something else first?
The energy level is so high for kids. Whereas as adults, you'll be like, one more time again, the same toy again. As therapists, we also will feel that fatigue also if there's like if there's no breaks in between sessions as well. So it's understandable why parents will feel that way also. Like even for book reading, we will encourage like not having the books that can read by themselves. So that we can pause and then point out certain information like pictures. In the pictures, we can ask like the WH questions, we call it like the who, what, when, you see in the book as well. So that's why we would prefer if parents are the one reading the book, but don't have to read word for word. Just describing the pictures, talking them through with the child.
I mean, I like that, you know. I think it's very much more engaging than them just listening passively to audio kind of things, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it also helps with the child's attention and focus also. And I think screen time also has its own disadvantages in terms of like affecting the child's focus and attention.
Yes. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right. I think we have talked quite a fair bit on the topic.
Yes.
We will revisit this topic again. We see how it goes, right?
Definitely.
Before we end today, what is your one last advice for parents?
One last advice
regarding screen time, regarding all these battery operated devices that you mentioned.
Okay, we know that it's easy to say because we are not the parents managing the child, seeing the child on a daily basis. But so of course try to balance, I would say. Even though yes, there are definitely guidelines there. But it's not saying that it's a do or die kind of thing. So as much as possible, it's a gradual change in the habit as well. Yeah. So how about you?
I think my last advice would be the same as what I mentioned earlier on, is the role modeling.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? You cannot expect the child to do something that you yourself cannot do.
Yes.
Alright? If you want them to play less game and do more outdoor activity, then you have to role model that. Right?
Yes.
Or even to lead that. Hey, how about this Saturday we go out to play badminton? How about this Sunday we go Farrer Park to walk,
to get some sunlight.
To get some sunlight, right?
Yes. I think Singaporeans are quite afraid of going out in the sun. I mean, I'm included. Like I don't really like to go out for outdoor activities.
The weather, it can be very hot.
Yeah, it's very hot. Yeah.
If not, then go for those indoor playgrounds, right? There's quite a few popular ones,
True.
It can be costly. I think that's a slightly better alternative than just staying at home and playing with the devices, right? Yeah. And some of
change in environment might help also.
And some of these indoor playgrounds can accommodate adults, so the parents can join in with them,
Yes,
so rather than just let the child go in and play, why not you also purchase a ticket and go in and play with them? I think that would be much more interactive, would build more good memories than just, okay, you all go in and play and mommy will wait for you outside,
Yeah, and to facilitate, I think social skills also, like, them making friends, and, like new friends.
Correct.
In a new environment also.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Thank
See
you
you all
for
next week.
watching.